Hey friends, I want to talk about a specific tactic for working on your own that I have found useful, that some of my friends have found useful, that you may find useful as well, that I'd like to spread in the world. So my resume, if I had one, would look really weird and kind of bad, honestly. I've worked very few jobs. The only real jobs I worked were a long time ago. I don't know, from a legal perspective, I've been self-employed since I think 2014. And I've worked some odd jobs here and there, but the point is, I don't know, I've never really had a real job for a long time, if at all. I've been thinking a lot about this. I think a real job, like a 9 to 5, 5 days a week kind of thing, would just break me. Wouldn't go well. And I know that about myself. I just wouldn't do well with that. Maybe it'd be fine, but I don't want to try it. Instead, I've kind of really LARPed my way into a job that I love, which is creating the Service Guild, which is focusing on love, curiosity, empowerment. I'm lucky to be supported by a Patreon that covers a meaningful portion of my expenses, not yet all of my expenses. I would still love some help with my Patreon if you feel so moved. If you have some additional income that you'd like to support my work with, that'd be great. But yeah, I feel blessed to be able to do the work that I do and to be supported by generosity and focus on things that I care about and work on them when I want to and trust my own intuition and discernment for what is enlivening to do and what is good for the world and what I like and what's growthy for me, and to optimize for all of that instead of optimizing for whatever it is that you do at a job where you work for someone else and you do what they tell you and when they tell you and in the way that they tell you, in the specific room that they tell you, at the hours that they tell you. That has advantages as well, though, one of which is that you have a boss. And this can be really hard for people who start working out on their own, sort of like feral types. Hey, I don't have someone to tell me what to do anymore, and I miss that, and I don't have someone to talk to when I have a problem, and someone to help me solve my problems. I don't have someone to help me prioritize what my work is and what's most important and what's less important. I don't have someone to troubleshoot with me any number of things that might come up. Heck, I don't have someone to talk to emotionally about what it's like for me and what my growth edges are. I don't have someone to reflect those to me and say, hey, these are your blind spots. I think you should work on this, or this is a growth area for you. Let's put together a plan for how we're gonna grow in this way. A really good boss, so I've heard, does these things. I've had those things in some ways here and there, but as I said, my work history is weird. But yeah, a really good boss has your back in a lot of dimensions, emotionally, psychologically. They're looking out for your growth. They're looking out for your best interests. They're there to help you solve problems. They're there to help you prioritize. They're there to help you see the larger picture. And when you work for yourself, you don't have that. And that's hard. It can be okay for a while, and then you hit some problem where you're like, I really don't know how to solve this. Or you just feel really alone and confused, and you're like, I don't know what to do now. And I don't really have someone to help me figure this out. Now, of course, in the Service Guild, there's the 3 departments, and so there are specific people I can talk to about the problems we're facing in that department or the guild. But especially early on, I really felt lacking in having someone to talk to about these things, and so one thing I did was to recruit some mentors. I have some mentors that I talk to occasionally at different rhythms about different topics. But another thing I did, and this is the one I want to talk about, is I sort of hired a boss. a boss. I asked a friend of mine, hey, can we meet something like once a quarter? I think we did once a quarter. And can I have your support for what I'm doing? And what the format that we ended up doing was, of course, we started with check-ins. We always start meetings at the Guild with check-ins. But basically, I would spend the first 20 or 30 minutes talking about just what was happening and doing a context download. Like, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. I'm having this challenge, this is going really well, etc. And then from there, I would typically bring one specific problem. Like, one of them was like, I don't have health insurance right now, or I'm not sure what to do about marketing my stuff, or I'm feeling this way about this thing. Often emotions actually are a blocker, or the thing that's the obstacle that you need help with. And then we'd try to solve that problem together. The person would ask questions and suggest solutions, and I'd be like, well, that's not quite right, because I'm stubborn. That's another thing about why I don't like a boss. In case you can't tell, I'm very stubborn. But even saying, oh, I don't want to do it this for that reason, would help clarify maybe I could do this instead. And I just found that so supportive, to have that kind of support from someone who cared about me, from someone who wanted me to flourish, from someone who had context. And it's pretty straightforward, if you have friends, and, if you don't have friends, I have an article about that. I think it's The Art of Friendship or The Practice of Friendship. I forget which of those. But if you have a pool of friends, which thankfully many of us are blessed to do, you can just ask one of your friends, hey, can you do this? And if you ask the right friend, they'll probably say yes. And if they say no, you can ask someone else. And you can even trade this. Like, you could be their boss, and they could be your boss, and you meet once a month or once a quarter, or whatever rhythm feels good for you. And you support each other with your work. Another way to do it that I think works even better is to sort of have a directed graph, I guess, of people who are supporting each other in this way. So like, basically you have a boss and you are someone else's boss, and then you pass it on. Everyone's someone's boss in this way, and everyone receives that support also. And this frame is less about having someone who tells you what to do, and more about getting all of those kinds of support that you might really benefit from having in a really good boss in a more traditional working environment, but that you don't have being self-employed or in another kind of weird context of your own making. And it can really help unblock you. It can help move through these problems more swiftly and get to more interesting challenges and obstacles, higher level problems. We all need support. We all need advice. We all need someone to be there for us emotionally. And this is a way that you can get all of those benefits while still doing the weird, feral, independent thing that increasingly many of us are enjoying doing. So maybe something to consider, having a boss, asking a friend to help you in this way, maybe helping another friend in this way. One thing I also really like about this is that this is a really good way to just learn about what someone's doing and what other people are doing and what problems they're facing. When we only look at our own problems from our own perspective, it gets kind of myopic. But if we have mutual situational awareness of what other people are doing and what's working for them, what's not working for them, what challenges they're facing, we get to learn from that. So even though you're helping a friend, if you're their boss, I think it's a growth opportunity as well, and not just a kindness, but something that benefits us as well. So something to consider. If you've tried this or want to, be curious to hear what you think about it. Feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, hope you are well and flourishing in your life.